put a drive together and put themselves back in the game.
Gordon went back to the sideline. Brisker's over there too. End zone. Hawkinson.
Touchdown. That's like the highlight from the game last night. The Vikings, Josh Dobbs over the middle to T.J. Hawkinson for a touchdown. The Bears did end up winning the ball game. Justin Fields takes the boys on a game-winning drive. It sets up a 30-yard field goal attempt with 12 seconds left. 4 field goals beats a touchdown and a field goal. Take the points. This is interesting to see. Daily Sports Podcast, news, narratives, takes, and gambling. I said we could go through some more stuff from the weekend, and we will. But before we do that, we have to talk about a hockey game last night where just sometimes, if you ever watched a movie or a TV show and you could tell at some point they just gave up on writing anything good and they were just like, they just put somewhere hilarity ensues or just then. Okay, so Florida is beating Ottawa 4-0. Ottawa is famously a team with a bunch of short fuses. There are 2 brothers in this game. Well, there's one brother on each team who are NHL royalty, the Tkachuks. Remember, one of them plays for Ottawa and is one of the captains, and the other one plays for Florida. And he is, I think, the captain and was the emotional leader that almost made a huge upset run to the Stanley Cup last year. They're playing each other. Their dad, Keith, was a legend. So let's just check in for how the game went. Let's just take a listen for, this is just be an update for how things went.
You're going to get a fight from Brady Tkachuk. Number 7 has 2 minutes for goaltender interference, 2 minutes for roughing. Florida, number 12, has 2 minutes for roughing, and then every player on the ice has a 10-minute misconduct. Florida will have a 2-minute power play.
Wait, hold on. What did you say? Wait, let's just hear it. I want an update one more time. Just one more time. What happened?
And then every player on the ice has a 10-minute misconduct. Florida will have a 2-minute.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Let's check some highlights from this game. There were some good ones. Here is Spit and Chicklets commentary. They say this game has just turned straight beer league. Whip, and it just whip, and like right there, like that. Just off the stick, skate, and into the back of the net. What a goal that was. Should we see what the benches look like? Huh? Here's what the benches look like after everyone gets their 10-minute misconduct. So we'll zoom out on the coaches, and where are all the players? They're in the locker room cooling off. Or the penalty box. They probably sent them to the locker room because they're like, we literally don't have time for this. Or we don't have space for this, which is... Oh, look at here. Want to see the brawl where this was started happening? Let's watch what happened.
And then McEwen comes across the ice and goes after Matthew Tkachuk.
That's Matthew.
And now trying to get some shots on after the linesmen were already in there. Bennett now will grab McEwen from behind. He's pulled back down.
If you're Keith Tkachuk, the dad of Matthew and Brady, you're embarrassed. Like, there is a really, really embarrassing text message to read on your phone this morning if you're one of those guys. That's just something. I don't know who won the game. I'm assuming Florida did. They were winning by a lot. For the Monday night game last night, Josh Dobbs, his job may be a jeopardy through 4 interceptions, including also a wide open miss to a receiver, Jordan Addison, who's running down the far sideline. He just floated the ball out of bounds. For the Bears, this win puts them in 4th overall at the NFL draft, but it's in a 3-way tie, kind of. I mean, they're tiebreakers, with Washington, the Giants, and then a bunch of other teams have 4 wins. Tampa, the Jets, the Chargers, and the Titans. So this seems like it's pretty well locked up. It might not be, though. These teams suck. So Arizona and New England suck. But the Bears, they're going to win themselves down to it and maybe out of the top 10. That would be great for me as a Lions fan, but if you're the Bears, that game was meaningless. And it super-duper helps Detroit to win the division, so maybe that's helpful. I don't know. But the rumors are that Josh Dobbs' job is not safe. Speaking of jobs that are safe, Frank Reich, the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, was fired. We knew it would happen. Second head coach to be fired this year after Josh McDaniels. Also fired were running backs coach Deuce Staley and quarterbacks coach Josh McCown. Some other guy, special teams coordinator, is now the interim head coach, which is so insulting to Jim Caldwell, who has say 6 years of head coaching experience, but I guess they just want to get a look at Chris Tabor. The guy that owns the Panthers, David Tepper, also owns a soccer team. In 18 months, he's fired 4 head coaches between the two each. So he's one of those guys, and now the rumor on the streets is, who in their right mind would want this job if there were other availabilities? They're like, what about Ben Johnson from the Lions or Brian Johnson from the Eagles? And everyone's like, why would they do that to themselves? Ben Johnson already turned down the Panthers because they're a mess. Smart, especially when there will be many openings this year. Chargers expected to have an opening. I think the Washington will have an opening. The Raiders may or may not have an opening. Tampa, I think, is going to have an opening. The Saints, I think, will have an opening. And I kind of think the Bills will have an opening. That's just I don't know, maybe I know stuff, maybe I don't. No, I don't have inside information. Absolutely do not have inside information on that. Texas A&M hired a new coach. It was the head coach at Duke football on purpose. And they did this thing. They did this chant thing. Texas A&M, just a bunch of weirdos. Look at them. Look at them doing this weird thing at the press conference. They were waiting for him to get off the plane. So that guy, I forget his name. It doesn't matter. I'll remember it when season rolls around. The Duke guy goes to A&M. The Oregon State guy goes to Michigan State. And the coordinator at Oklahoma goes to Mississippi State. So things are moving around. Still a little sick. Don't worry about me, though. Things are going to be fine. I'll be fine. I appreciate it. So Mike McDaniel, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, there was a quote from him about how he met his wife, that he stole his wife from one of his players. It turns out that's not true. That was making the rounds. Not true. Let's listen to Mike explain what actually happened.
The skeleton of the story is correct, but there's a couple important caveats. First of all, the perceived threat that I made to a player about was over the top a joke, considering both he and I knew that as a running back coach I had no ability to say if he was there or not. It was more in jest. And then second of all, my wife was telling me that people are talking about me stealing people's girls. The dude had met her for 45 seconds. So, like... But you called dibs. I mean, I kind of did, but, I mean, I feel like I was painted out to be kind of a D-bag.
Thanks for setting the record straight, Mike. You're not a D-bag. Everybody likes you. I like you. So that was making the rounds. So shout out to DK Metcalf. He was doing one of the slyest, coolest things in the NFL, and then he talked about it. And now everyone knows, just can't shut your mouth. Just can't take the W and then move on. So what he was doing, was signing. He was taking American Sign Language classes on his off days and on the internet and things so that he could talk shit. Without anybody knowing what he was saying in sign language. However, he then talked about it on like a podcast interview or something, and now everyone knows, and they're going to try to find all these clips, and I would imagine he's going to be fined, if not suspended. This is the kind of thing, if you had shut up about for your entire career, no one would have known, and everyone would have went back and found it, and it would have been hilarious. Here's an example.
He reels it in. Is it a catch? Yes, it is.
44 is my son. I'm his daddy. Would have been cool to go through all the clips and find all the shit talk. Nope. Had to talk about it. Had to be the cool guy. Letting people know. Texas over the weekend left the Big 12 conference. They are leaving the Big 12 and headed to the Southeastern Conference. And as a result of that, they did say goodbye to the Big 12. And I kind of thought this was nice. I think that they would rather be in the Big 12, but money talks. And that's just how that goes. I believe this is the end of Toy Story 3. Going away to college. And they're saying goodbye. So long, partner. I kind of like it. I think Texas, I don't know if other people liked it, but I kind of liked that. I was down for that. I was a big fan. I don't think there's anything wrong with what Texas did there. Like I said, I kind of like it. Good for them. So it doesn't appear like there are going to be any new firings this week, but I think that there are some set in stone. The Chargers, I think, are God Johnson. I think so. Anyway, we'll keep you up to date. Controversial Wednesday tomorrow. For Controversial Wednesday, I'm kind of thinking we might just cover the worst basketball team in the history of college basketball. And maybe the worst pro basketball team in the history of basketball. I don't know. There are plenty of opportunities. We'll find out. Okay. See you tomorrow.